Zach Bagans, the Haunted Museum. This building is known to contain ghosts, spirits, and cursed objects. By entering, you agree that management will not be liable for any actions by these unseen forces. Touching of artifacts is extremely forbidden and will result in an immediate end to your tour. Thieves will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law and succumbed to Angry Spirit's curse. All tour guests must sign and understand the Haunted Museum's what? Indemnification agreement. Gratuities not included. All sales are final. Management reserves all rights.
And with that, welcome to another episode of Firelink Podcast with Moises and Brenda.
What up, everyone? So this is our Halloween special. What I just read was a disclosure and a warning from the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum in Vegas. So as you heard in the last episode, we went to Vegas for a honeymoon. And in a honeymoon, we did a little bit of a pit stop. This Haunted Museum.
We chose that instead of a show, we would go to the Haunted Museum, Zach Bagans Haunted Museum, just because it feels like it's so much more worth it.
Yeah, one, because even with a 50% discount to the Blue Man Group, it was almost $200. So we're like, nah. Two, because we love Ghost Adventures. We're huge fans of that show. And,
for years.
And even before like planning the honeymoon, we were talking about, hey, let's go to the Zach Bagans Museum.
Yeah.
But we were like too chicken to say yes until the day of. Like this literally, we were like,
last minute.
Oh, it's $200. Okay, never mind. Let's go to the museum. So right now in October, they have the Carnival of Souls. And when you take the tour, there's a carnival inside. And it takes your soul. They scare the soul out of you, basically. But
we are doing this special because it's almost Halloween. We are in October. And
excuse me.
Babe, this is serious.
Okay.
And a lot of people are asking us how that experience was.
It was an experience. It was an experience. We've told family.
We've told some friends of like what went on and everything. But oh my gosh, like if you are in Vegas, it is totally worth it to go.
Yep, definitely.
Totally worth it.
It opens from 1 to 9 every day, I think, except for Mondays or Tuesdays.
I'm not sure. There is like one day that they close or something, or a couple days.
Yeah, they're closed for one day. They are open from 1 to 9. And we arrived like 30 minutes after 1. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're like, we should get there soon. That way we don't have to wait. When we got there was already a line. Mm-hmm. So there's a line to pay. And then there's a line for you to wait to get in line to pay.
No, so, okay.
Well, let's start when we got there.
Yes.
Right away when we got there.
Well, that's where I was gonna start.
Oh, okay.
Like, we got there a little bit after 1, so our Uber dropped us off, right? And like we weren't expecting anything more, like anything huge, because we had already heard that, like from watching the show and following Zach and everything, like that he had purchased this house and it was a museum. He made it into a museum, right? So I wasn't expecting anything like a huge place or anything. So when we got there,
there's already knocks around the.
That's our cats.
There's already knocks around the house right now, just because we're talking about it.
When we got there, the Uber dropped us off, and like we right away started taking pictures because, like, to be in a place where we've wanted to go for so long, and like for it to like out of nowhere, we're just like, okay, let's just go to the museum. Like, I didn't know I was so close to the strip, which was very
like a 10
convenient.
Minute, 10-15 minute drive.
Like 10-minute drive. Like it was very convenient. It was very close to the strip, so our Uber wasn't like a lot of money. Um, so we get there and we're like, whoa, like we saw a line, and then for the entrance or whatever, we saw a line, and then there was another line towards the side of
The house.
the house, which was where they told us to go because that's where you signed the waiver. Yes.
So yeah,
There
before we even
is a
got there,
waiver.
what happened?
What happened?
When we took a step into the parking lot.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's so
So
true.
it was nice and calm.
Yeah, like we got there and it was calm.
It was nice and calm. The weather was nice and everything. As soon as we stepped foot into the parking lot, just a gust of wind came over the house.
Like it was crazy because we started taking pictures. Like we took a selfie, we took a picture of the sign of the house. Like we took maybe like 5 pictures, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as we started walking in towards the parking lot, getting close to the entrance, like just bunch of wind and like a little mini tornado in the parking lot. And I was like, whoa, like that freaked me out a little bit because I was like, is this a sign? Like, should we not go in?
Right.
Or should we like go back?
Because there was a time there was no wind. It was actually hot.
Uh-huh.
So we were like, okay, this happened. And we're going into a haunted house, and it happened at a haunted museum. So yeah, we got our
Yeah, that's
got
where
our
I was
heart.
like I kind of hesitated a little bit, but I was like, we're already here. Like,
We already paid for it.
We already have a ticket. There's no refund, so
all sales are final.
all
as
sales
you
are
heard
final.
in my disclosure.
So we made the decision to go.
Yeah. So security's there. I think there was like 2 securities. There was 2 securities. They would direct you to
Outside.
the side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line at the side of the house as well as the front of the house. But the side of the house, you make line for the security to, I guess, put you in a group of people that are going to be in your tour. And that's where you have to sign the waiver. And the waiver, I didn't read it. You read it.
I read the waiver.
I was like, if you signed it, I'm signing it too. We're good to go.
And it was really, it's cool because on the side of the house, I mean, it's a very narrow place, but
Yeah.
that's where you make line. And they have TVs on the wall. And they're playing Ghost Adventures episodes.
Of the museum.
Oh, of the museum?
Yeah. All of that was the museum.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was like, what?
So yeah, like on the side of the house, they played Ghost Adventures episodes of stories of employees, of the people who were building the place,
Mm-hmm.
of experiences they had, and it was pretty crazy.
Which is pretty cool because like we did meet a couple who was right behind us who
Had no idea.
had no idea. Like they were just there for something different. Like they thought it was like an actual like
Haunted house,
like
one of those spooking.
yeah, like one of those playful haunted houses that you go to where like people are not real and stuff. Well, they're real, but
The point is to scare you.
yeah. So they thought that's what it was, but they had no idea like that Zach was in a show and like he purchased this house and whatever. So they didn't know any of the backstory. So for them to have that there for those people that actually pay attention, it's pretty cool because like it starts to freak you out a little bit to know the backstory. Like, okay,
It was pretty funny because we were telling this couple who had no idea of the show, of the museum, and all that stuff, everything we knew of the museum and what was in it, and the claims that were around it, and they were starting to get freaked out. It's pretty funny.
yeah, like she was like, I mean, I don't know if I want to go back in there or if I want to go in there. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you'll be fine. Well, like you'll be
Yeah.
fine. I was like,
And the
scared.
security was pretty cool. The security was pretty cool. He told us that he does have experiences, but I guess because of his faith and how much he believes, it doesn't really affect him. Which is which is what we like, what we were riding on because we didn't have anything. We didn't have like
Yeah.
crystals. We didn't have rosaries. We didn't have anything like that. And we're like, okay, well, it's us, our faith, protecting
Yeah.
us over whatever is inside.
Yeah, like I went. I mean, on our car ride to the museum, like I prayed. I just like, I don't know. Like I knew we were going into this like knowing that something can attach to you or experience stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that, like, for us, it was more of like going for the entertainment purpose. You know what I mean? Like, to see, like, I wanted to be there for the actual museum, to see the artifacts and of stuff that we see on the show, or like stories that we've seen
Yeah.
of the ghost stories. Like, that was my purpose, like just being able to see the artifacts and stuff. I didn't really want to like feel anything, or like like I didn't want to get scared or whatever. Like, I just wanted to be there for the museum part of stuff. So I did pray on our way to the museum. Like, I just prayed, like, God, like, don't open my mind, keep my mind very closed. Like I'm just there for the entertainment. I don't need I don't need anything to happen to me for me to believe that there's evil out there.
Yeah.
Like, that I don't need it. Like, I already know. Like,
Yeah, because we're believers that there's evil out there, that there's evil entities that we don't see that can affect you, like demons, evil ghosts, evil hauntings, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that in that house, specifically demons, because there's like a possessed doll. There's a possessed, not a chair, but like there's a chair where a lot of demonic stuff happen within that chair. There's a Dibbit box. Have you guys seen? If you guys have seen The Possession, the movie's based around that box. And then there's this severed head that is also demonic. There's just a lot of creepy, haunted stuff inside, and we wanted to make sure that we were protected on our end because, of course, we have a family. We don't want to bring anything back that will haunt or harm them. So
that's why we were like, for a long time, we were like really
skeptical. Well, not skeptical, but like, no, I don't want to.
Like,
let's not go.
Yeah, like, we really were thinking a lot about, should we go or should we not go. Like
I mean, if you're single, go ahead.
Yeah, like we were thinking more about our family than anything. Like, like, I don't know.
Yeah, luckily nothing has happened so far,
God.
and we pray that it will stay that way. But yeah, right from the get go, you start feeling, because one thing is, you're about to go into a haunted place, so there's a lot of emotions going around there personally, and then you feel the emotions and the energy of other people.
Yeah.
Because there's only, I don't know how many types of people go into that. One, the believers, fans. Well, yeah, the believers that know that there's evil entities out there, the ones that believe in ghosts, demons, and all that stuff. Two, fans of the show, because they want to see all the artifacts that he's collected, because they also believe. The other type of person is three, who doesn't know at all, but is curious and wants to know what's up. And then four, the non-believers, and also the skeptical people, and the jokers. That was like, this is just a whatever. Yeah. We had all types of people in our group.
For real.
I think we were the only fans / believers, because we were vocal about it. We talked about it a lot. And then
we were just excited. Like, it was exciting to be there.
It was pretty cool.
Unfortunately, we didn't see Zach, though.
No. But they did tell us that when he's not shooting episodes, that he does go there every day.
Yeah.
We didn't see him, but we did see Angry Joe. He's been on the show itself, Ghost Adventures, and he's also, I guess, like the, what would you call it? Not the host. I guess kind of like a host.
I don't know, but he's pretty cool. So, like, the whole time that you're waiting on the side of the house, when you sign the waiver, you're there, right? Then once, like, people go in, a group goes in, they move you to the front of the house where the entrance to buy your tickets are.
Yeah.
That's where Angry Joe.
It basically gives us like disclaimers.
Yeah, like, you're gonna.
What we may experience.
And I took a video of that, of like some of the stuff he said. Like,
Oh yeah,
you might get a stomach ache, or like you might feel this or whatever.
dizzy.
Yeah. They do take like any kind of drink that you have with you. They take it away.
Yeah, I took my water bottle.
Um, I know that on the sign to the entrance it says it's a drug free, like no alcohol,
No firearms.
no firearms place. So like, I think like maybe some people try to like, I don't know, like maybe get high or something before or something. I don't know.
To get a trip.
To get a trip or I don't know, but they did take your water bottle. They did tell us that we're not allowed to take any pictures, any videos
Record audio recordings.
inside the museum. So outside, we could take whatever pictures and videos we wanted. Inside the lobby, which is where you buy your tickets, you could take pictures and videos and whatever. But inside the museum, you cannot absolutely take any kind of recording, video, or nothing.
And just to make it even creepier, the waiver specifically says that if you sign it, that you will not hold the company or the museum or anything like that liable for
Anything
any
that
damage,
to you.
any harm, any attachments, and even death that you will not blame it on the museum.
Yeah.
That's what the waiver says.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty like
I didn't read it.
when I was reading it, I was like, "Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Okay." It's like basically if we die, it's not their responsibility, which is not because you're the one that wants to go in there.
Yeah.
So we signed our waiver.
So yeah, and then we talked to Angry Joe a bit. We asked him questions. We took a picture with him, and then we went inside. We went to go pay. Even the pay thing was creepy.
Yeah, the lobby.
Yeah, the lobby. There's like They have like a whole wall of dolls and clowns and stuff like that.
It was, and like I just want to say, even before we start talking about the creepy stuff, like the whole team of the museum, like security, Angry Joe, which is super cool. Like
tour guides.
the tour guides, all the ladies, like everybody was very nice. Like they were nice, but not like, how do you say, like they took their role very seriously.
Yeah. I think it's not that they played the role. Okay, you're about to go into a haunted museum. We're gonna do our best to keep that environment even within ourselves, or even within ourselves. Because the only cheery one was the one that took us to the entrance of the museum.
Yeah, that was it.
Which was outside.
Which was outside, yeah. But I mean, they were all very respectful. Like like it's a great team. Like very professional. They very like a lot of knowledge. You could tell that they love what they're doing, and
you better love what you're doing. Working inside that house.
And then like you could tell that they wanted to give us the best experience that they could.
Yeah.
Because we weren't the first group there. Because like usually when you're the first group, you're like, oh cool, like. But then towards the middle, like they're already tired of saying the same stuff or whatever. But you could tell like in every group they were trying to give them the best experience that they could.
Yep.
Which we are really appreciated. So thank you everyone at the.
Shout out to all of them.
Shout out to all the
tour guides
and the securities and Angry Joe. We love you. But
so, yeah. So before we went into the house, we got told a little bit about the history. I'm not sure what year it was built, but at one point it was one of the biggest houses in Las Vegas because it's a mansion, basically. Still huge. But yeah, I think the original owner, did he die in there? The original owner died in there, and then he came to the possession of Zach. He researched it beforehand, and then I guess he fell in love with it or something. And he bought it and made it into what it is now, which is a haunted museum. So the place was already haunted even before Zach bought it.
Like it was a literal haunted house.
Yeah. And Zach just threw all these other artifacts full of haunted possessions and stuff like that. And that was a little bit about the history of what they told us. And then we had like a little magic show, which
No,
like,
well, before that,
it was a pretty cool trip.
at the lobby. So you go in the lobby, and if you don't have your ticket, we bought our tickets online. But if you don't have your tickets, like you buy them there, and then all the creepy stuff. Like my hubby didn't want me to take any pictures, but I took a video, and then there's the sign, the warning sign.
The one that we just read.
Is it that one?
Yeah, the same one.
I don't think so, because the other one was much shorter.
No, it was the same one.
But they do, like, they have a warning sign in the wall, and they do make you say it out loud with your hand raised.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you raise your hand, and then you say, like, the warning sign.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a summary of that.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's much shorter, see? Like, it was much shorter than what it says here. But I think it's just a summary of that, like this place is, haunted or whatever. There's spirits and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So they had us say that out loud as a group.
And then that's when they give us a little bit of the history of the house. Then they did the magic show, which was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. The magic show was cool.
I felt kind of special because I got his initial joke. You didn't get his
the
joke.
wrestler?
Right? Yeah. Do you know who Shawn Michaels is?
No. I don't think anybody did but you and him.
Yeah, that's why he was like, I'm glad you got it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then because he does
I don't know what the purpose of the magic show is, but
I think it was like the whole time you're building up the nerves to go inside. So the magic showed something positive because it has nothing to do with something haunted.
Yeah.
So kind of like, okay, ha ha ha, it relieves your nerves. So now you can be more scared when you go into it.
Yeah.
But did it like a magic trick.
He did a couple magic tricks.
And then he brought out a snake.
A huge snake. It was like
I think it was a boa or whatever those are called.
And like you could take pictures with it, and my sis didn't want to take pictures. I was like, "Come on!" And he's like, "No."
It's a snake.
And I was willing to do it too, just because
it's a snake.
We're there. We were all in, so might as well be all in. So I was like I am terrified of snakes. Whoever knows me knows that I'm terrified of snakes.
So then why would you put a snake?
But I was willing because I saw that the other girl did it and the other guy, and they were perfectly fine. Nothing happened.
If you see someone jump off a building and they're perfectly fine, would you do it?
Well, I know that I'm not going to be
exactly.
And there was a trained professional, the magician.
Anyway.
But yeah. But we didn't take a picture of the snake.
So then.
But we took a picture of the snake.
Yeah. And after that, that's when you're now at the entrance of the museum.
Which is on the right side of the house.
Yeah. And you'll go in. That's when you get introduced to your first tour guide. And she leads you into this very small room. Because you got to keep in mind, depending on the size of your group, ours was 14. How big was it? 15?
Yeah, 14.
It was 14 people. So this first room, all over the place, like the walls. The only thing that's empty is the middle of the room. So that's the only space that you have. And I was the first one to go into it. And I had to go all the way down. All the way down. And it's dark.
Yeah.
It's super dark. Full of stuff. Full of stuff. Everything's haunted in there.
Not everything, but...
But a lot of stuff is haunted.
Like, it's creepy.
Yeah, because there's, like, deformed figures, animal figures, there's dolls. There's a case full of real skulls. Yeah.
And here comes the first experience. Did you have any experiences there?
No, it just felt creepy all over the place.
So
because I guess as you go along the tour, your nerves start to calm down because, okay, now you're inside, you can't get out.
Yeah.
You have to deal with it. But the first initial part, I was like eyeing everything. Like, where can I see something? Where something happen? Don't touch me.
Yeah, and something did happen in that room. Remember the picture she showed us of like the skeptical celebrity or
Yeah,
whatever?
the skeptical. I think it was a director, and he said he felt a hand touch him, and they took a picture, and there's like a white strip that looks like a hand grab his arm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty crazy. And they also have a video of a doll that's in there too that's also demonically
That they
possessed.
told her like show yourself, and then they have the recording of her like showing up.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so the tour guide said that um they told her like they were recording and they told her like to show herself in the room, and she like showed up
Mm,
in the middle of the room.
the little anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa. But like yeah, like going into that room it was creepy. We were the first ones of the group to go in because we were like right in the front. So we had to go all the way to the back. And there was like a door open, but there was a chair.
Is it a door?
Huh? It was a door.
Huh.
Wasn't it?
I don't know.
It looked like a door with like, I don't know. It looked like a door with with the chair, like
In front of it.
in front of it, covering the door or whatever. And like I didn't, like I was just a little bit scared, but for some reason, you know, like when you feel like somebody's watching you, and you like people are gonna say like, oh well, like it's in your head. You were already like no, like I literally thought somebody was there, but nobody was there. So I kept feeling like somebody was behind me because at one point we were all turning to see the tour guide at the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I had our backs towards the back of the room. And I kept feeling that somebody was watching us, like somebody was behind us. So I was like, okay. So I kept turning around and you're like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And at some point, I saw a shadow of a person
Peek.
peek.
You didn't tell me this until after.
I saw a shadow of a person peek, and then like I was like, whoa. And then the feeling went away.
Mm-hmm.
Like once I saw that shadow, like the feeling went away of like somebody was watching me. So I was like, okay, like, and at that point I was just telling myself like, okay, no, this is all in your head. Like you're just making stuff up because, you know, this is supposed to be a haunted museum. So whatever, like nobody's here, nobody's watching you, nobody's following you. Just whatever, forget about it. So I did. So I was like, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. And that was the first room. I think this room,
The very first room.
it was a total of 30 rooms, right?
Yeah.
The next one was like a old school poker casino, Wild West
How do you remember that?
room. Yeah, I don't know.
Like they did tell us that there was a lot of like that house had a lot of rooms, had a lot of like passages and
Yeah,
stuff. Like we didn't even go into every room because
it was huge.
it was a huge place.
Yeah.
Bigger than I expected.
Yep.
It was like a what hour and a half
Tour.
tour.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you could just imagine how big that was for us to be there for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Just the tour itself.
And then, yeah, we went to the casino room. They told us that there's a poker table there that I'm not sure what they were doing, but I don't think it was poker. I think it was roulette. A roulette table.
No, it was a poker table.
It was a poker table.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Supposedly the table came from a I don't know from where, but the street number was 666. And then that the chips on the table have the same number, like separately. And something else, I don't know. But there's a poker player that died. What I experienced 3 times is stuff staring at me.
There?
No, not there.
Oh.
Like throughout the whole tour.
Oh.
First, it was in that first room. I think it was just a doll, like a ham top, or something. I just like I kept looking at it, like, that's looking at me, I'm just standing at the wrong place at the wrong time. The casino part, you know how we were the last ones to go in. So in this one, since we were the last ones to go out of the first room, I was so creeped out because it's super dark and I was the last person. So I was like turning back. I don't want nothing to follow me. And we were the last ones to go into the second room. And you know how there was like a table and then there was like a little thing. I felt that thing staring at me because it was moving, right? It was like a mechanical thing. At least I saw it.
I don't know.
That's
I
how I
didn't see
saw it.
anything move there.
Yeah, I think it was a mechanical thing, like moving its hand or something like that.
Huh.
And it suddenly stopped and it was just staring at me. And I was like, okay, it is creepy. So we left that room. Where did we go after that?
But what? Remember what they told us? What happened in the poker table? Like something fell off of it.
Oh yeah. Like
That
there's something that you
that
have to
musical
lift.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that you have to lift, and I don't know what you have to do, but it's supposedly you do have to have some force to
Like it's
take it
pretty
off.
heavy.
Yeah, like you take it off, because it wasn't the whole thing; it was a piece of it.
Yeah.
And to take out that piece, you have to do some kind of thing to take it off because it's secure there. But that it fell like all of a sudden. I think the security camera caught it.
Yeah.
Like no one was in the room, and it fell.
And they show you videos of stuff
Yeah.
to prove like what happened.
And then afterwards, is this when we went to the doctor's office?
Is it? No.
Where do we go after this? I think it was the doctor's office.
Was it?
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't know what the doctor's called, but supposedly this is the doctor that helped life support people commit suicide, I guess, which is illegal. But he offered those services. Once he lost his practice because he did it professionally with his license, and he was found.
Oh, was that where the van was?
Yeah.
Jack's van?
Yeah, that was the third room, right? That we went into.
I think so.
So we went there. Zach bought the actual van where he committed his crime. So after he lost his practice, he still wanted to offer the services. I think before it was with injection, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because he has no access to it because he lost his practice, now he bought a van where he still did the same thing, but now it was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what that is, that's
It's
what
gas.
happens. Yeah, when you leave when you leave a car on in an enclosed space with no ventilation, then breathing in those fumes will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what he did. He gave his victims a button for them to press whenever they're ready to die. And he did all these things in a van. And before we even went to the room, there's a separate room next to the room with the van where they have all the artwork of this doctor, and it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Because it's all like people disfigured or missing bones or missing limbs. So you can tell this doctor was a bit cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed us a video. Well, they showed us two videos. Yeah, it was the first video was a paranormal activity that happened there. So in the previous tour, and it was actually one of the tour guides that gave us a tour too. And this tour, two ladies were affected. One walked up to the tour guide like very weird, like a zombie-like way,
Mm-hmm.
and whispered something to the girl.
Yeah.
And then another lady,
The one that was next to her.
yeah, the one that was next to her, she collapsed. Like she fainted.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I think security came in, they tried to help her. And then when she came to, she said that she saw a dark figure behind security, and she just lost it. She started screaming, crying and everything.
Yeah, like she was going like hysterical.
Yeah. And after that, that's when they showed us a second video of Zach Bagans that he recorded, educating us on the van of who it belonged to, what happened there, and all that stuff. It's pretty crazy because they decorate. It's like you have to think about it. It's the actual van where all of these basically murders happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty creepy because all that energy is still there. And then after that, where did we go? Trying to remember all the rooms we went to. Did we go to a celebrity right after?
No, I think.
It was the van. And then where did we go from there?
Was it the mirror?
Yeah, the mirror. Yeah. So after the doctor went to...
Lugosi's mirror or something?
After the doctors, we went to the Madame Lugosi or something like that. I don't know.
It was another room.
It was a room that has a mirror.
Like, just keep in mind, this might not be like the exact.
Yeah. This is what our experience was.
No, like this might not be the exact rooms that we went
In order.
in order. Yeah, because like it was so much. I don't know.
There's a lot of rooms, a lot of stuff. But yeah, so in this room, there's a mirror that belonged to the Dracula actor, the original Dracula, the black and white one. And I think it belonged to someone else before that, but he got possession of it. And they said that if you stare at the mirror, that I don't know what you see, but you experience something. And they showed us a video of someone collapsing. Yeah. Did they show us a video, or was that outside?
I don't think so.
Well, I saw it outside. But in that room, a guy just stared at it, and he collapsed after a few minutes of staring at it. And there's a huge mirror. I don't even know if it's haunted, but there's a huge mirror. If you guys have seen Silent Hill, do you remember the poster?
No.
The picture? No? Well, if you guys have seen Silent Hill, there's a part in the movie where they're trying to look for a secret room. And to find that secret room, they have to cut a picture in the poster. That's basically a woman on fire strapped to a ladder because it's the witch. And supposedly the set burned down, but that picture remained intact when they were filming the movie. So that's why they had it there. I don't think it was the original, or maybe it is, but that's what happened. And then they also had the crying boy picture. If you didn't know the story behind that, I did, because my grandma had a crying boy picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like the one my dad just took?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just a picture of a crying boy.
Oh.
So the story behind the crying boy pictures is that whoever has possession of it, something happens to the house. More than likely that it goes on fire. And after the whole rumble thing, the only thing intact left is the crying boy picture. So my grandma had it. I had no idea until I grew up what the story behind it was.
Why did she have it?
I don't know, but it was huge. And it's a crying boy. Nothing luckily happened to the house, because they currently live in it right now. I don't think they have the picture anymore. I haven't seen it, but they have that, and that's the story behind the crying boy picture.
And all of this was in the same room with the mirror.
Yeah.
And then like, they ask you if you want to stare at the mirror. So,
yeah.
Like,
they give you permission. They don't force you to.
Yeah, like, do you want to? Like, get in line, whoever wants to. And like, people actually did do it. And we're like, no, we're not gonna stare at no mirror.
I could look at myself in another mirror. That's not haunted. Because a lot of stuff happening in front of the mirror, so the mirror captured that reflection of it. It's not just it's haunted because something happened. I think murders happened in front of the mirror. People died in front of it.
Yeah, like basically all the bad energy that
happened in front of the mirror is inside the mirror. So that's why it's haunted. They actually have a curtain over the mirror that they have to open in order for you to look into it.
Yeah.
And then after that, where do we go after that?
Was it the funeral?
No, I think the funeral was the third one.
Was it?
Like she said, is there gonna be an order?
But let's talk about the funeral room.
Yeah. In that one they have what were they called? That cult? It was in Freemasons.
I don't remember the cult.
Something Brothers.
I
don't know, but there's this cult that's still active today. Dang it, the name is gonna kill me.
Look it up. I'll talk about the room a little bit. So, the room, I guess it's called the funeral, and it's basically like when you go to a funeral, they had chairs lined up, and then
it looks like a church.
Yeah, and then
but a super dark one.
But it was dark, and like they had you know, what creeped me out was that there was like this little door to like a tunnel
And we were sitting right in front
on
of it.
the on the right, and we were sitting right in front of it. And it was small, and it creeped me out so much because it was way darker in there.
It was
And
super
I
dark.
kept looking in there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, please, nobody pop out of there, or I don't want to see anything. Like, don't close, don't open, don't do anything." But it was a very creepy room. They had what were they called? The They had the coffin in the front,
Mm-hmm. They had
right?
two coffins.
They had two.
Well, they had three. They had two like laying down and one up. All three with human remains,
Yeah,
like skeletons.
like actual ones, right? That's
Yeah.
what she said. Like they were actual human remains. So that made it even creepier, like that she was telling us that. And like at this whole thing, like you go in there and you're not just watching, like they're giving you actual history of what happened or why they're there or how, like stuff like that. So it scares you more to know the facts about this stuff.
Yeah. And we've seen this room we've seen on the show. No sé si te acuerdas. I can't find the name of the freaking cult. But the remains of the three people in the coffins were part of the cult. And we because when we were talking about going to Vegas and going to this museum as part of our honeymoon adventure, we saw episodes of what happened inside the museum. So in this one, they had like fans go into the museum, and one of the fans and remember the tour guide mentioned this, the dark figure.
Yeah.
One of the fans went in there and she experienced something, and then they took pictures. And at I think the right of because I think they have like a kneeling part. No,
No.
they didn't have anything kneeling.
No, but there was an opening in between the coffins.
Yeah, and they basically caught they basically caught.
Oh, they do have a kneeling part. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where they caught
they
the
have a
dark
kneel.
figure, sort of kneeling into that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that, like, it was very creepy.
Yeah.
Then they had that guy like stare.
Yeah, they asked because they say that if you stare into the skeleton's eyes, that you will see your own mortality. So basically, you see how you die. And I was like, I am ready for that.
Like, anybody want to volunteer?
Yeah.
No.
There was this one white guy that always volunteered for everything. Like he doesn't
and
believe.
the guy with the cowboys.
Oh yeah,
that
guy
he
too.
was like the Joker guy.
Yeah, he was him, and because they were in a part of a group.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but it's this guy. It was this one.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
But it was a cult, and it's still active today. So we went in there. They actually asked for a volunteer to go into the little crypt area, and the same guy volunteered.
Mhm.
But what happened? Like
I don't know. She was knocking.
like she knocked, and like, oh, I guess they're not ready. I was like, who's not ready? Because it left it open.
Yeah.
So I was just staring at that thing, like, hopefully nothing peeks out.
She's like, nope.
And
So
then
we left.
they told us that we could leave. I was like, we're the first ones out of here. I don't want to be the last one. So we went from there to another room, which is the other room.
Was it the Devil's Rocking Chair?
No, that was the last one.
That was the last
That was like the second to last one.
What about the cauldron?
No, I think that was after the serial killers. Because that's after you got your, well, that's after what the second thing happened.
Okay, so I don't know. What did we do after that? Was it when they scared us, the little room? Where they're like, everybody going to, where there was like all of the animals, the stuffed animals, or not stuffed, but.
No.
Where the wall opened?
See? No, I don't think so. Because the last thing we did was, I think the last thing we did was the serial killer room.
That's the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was the brightest room in the house with the darkest things in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And basically, what this room was, it's basically a collection of paintings, personal
There's
items,
like letters in there too.
letters, stuff that either the serial killers owned or did. It's
Mm-hmm.
in there, like Ted Bundy, the famous
Oh yeah.
serial killer. Zach paid 50,000 for his glasses.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But it was like kind of weird because it was split up. Like it was a room, but in the room there was like a
Jail cell,
jail cell kind of,
like the gate.
the gate, that split both rooms. And towards the back of the room, like in the corner, it was the clown outfit, right?
No, that was in the front.
No, that was in the back.
No, the back was another clown.
It was another clown.
It was a Santa suit.
It was.
Yeah, it was a Santa suit.
Oh yeah, the back one. The
Yeah, the
clown
killer
was over
Santa.
here.
Yeah, the John Wayne Gacy he was at the front, but the killer Santa, because there's this serial killer Santa back in the day, they actually have this suit that he used. They have Charlie Manson, I think Charlie Manson or whatever, the Manson dude, the one that had called back in the 70s. They had his attire while he was in jail, some artifacts that he owned or he did. They have Richard Ramirez, I think that's his name, the serial killer who was born in El Paso but killed people in California. Something else in there too, but that was in the jail cell. And then outside in front of the jail cell, that's where Ted Bundy's glasses were.
Mm-hmm.
There were all these quotes all around the walls from the serial killers. They had a picture of the BTK killer who beat, torture, and kill. I think that's what those mean. The BTK. Did they have H.H. Holmes stuff? No, huh? That was America's first serial killer. But it's crazy.
I think they did because they mentioned that.
See? Yeah, they have stuff from America's first serial killer, H.H. Holmes.
They might.
Both.
They might, or I'm not sure. So sorry to Zach and his team if like
We get it wrong.
we get stuff wrong. Like it was our first time.
But yeah, H.H. Holmes and the BTK killer both said that they had the devil living inside of them. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then John Wayne Gacy, if you don't know who that is, that's the serial killer who killed children. I don't know when, back in the 80s, 70s.
The clown.
Yeah, he dressed up. He used to be a party clown, meaning that you would pay him to go to birthday parties and do his act. But he killed and I think molested over 30 kids and buried them inside his house underground.
That's the episode that just came out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That we just saw.
Yeah, they said that he had no remorse even after.
Yeah.
Like,
where Zach wants to buy his brain.
Mm-hmm. Like his psychiatrist said, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. Who else? There's a bunch of serial killers. Ted Bundy. I don't think they had any Dahmer stuff. I mean, they just had a picture of him, but a general one.
But just like think about it, like we went into a serial killer room
With their artifacts.
And
It's full of evil.
Like
the energy is evil.
But the room was lit up, like it was bright.
Mm-hmm.
It was very lit up, like it wasn't dark spots anywhere, like, and they took us in and then they closed the door. So just think about it, like you go into a room, the tour guide closes the door and stands in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she let us like roam and look around and stuff. And that's where I had another encounter. It gives me chills. So I was looking around, right? I was like just like roaming, and I went to the back of the room where the Santa suit and all of that stuff was. Just looking at it. And then as people were going into the back of the room, I decided to start going to the front and look at that. And wait for everybody to be done so that we could get out. And now that I think about it, like, I went and to the left was where Ted Bundy's glasses were, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is freaking me out
Now we're there.
now because I didn't even think about it there. But since we saw the movie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like of the kind of person that he was and
Yeah.
stuff.
So basically, what Ted Bundy did, he targeted college-aged women, or that look like college people, and he killed like. Well, he confessed to 33, but people say that there's way more.
Like now, it freaks me out now, right now that I'm thinking about it, because as I was standing facing the
You're
wall,
facing the entrance.
the entrance, yeah.
You were facing the wall of the entrance.
I was facing the wall of the entrance, but the entrance was to the left of the
Right.
wall. I mean, to the right of the wall, and I was to the left where his glasses were.
Yeah, and I was right next to you, but facing the clown, that cabinet with the clown stuff.
Which was to the right.
Yeah.
So, as I was looking at stuff in front of me, like this is not even made up. Like, I felt somebody pull my hair on the right side. Yeah, it was this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned to you and I said, "Did you just pull my hair?" And at that point, like, I knew it wasn't you because your hands weren't even like towards me. Like, your whole body language was like on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm. There was nobody behind us.
There was nobody behind us because I told your mom and she's like, "Oh, it was somebody there." Like, no, like, it couldn't have been. There was no way because it was just you and I on that spot because we were the first ones to go in. So it was just you and I in that spot.
Yeah.
And you weren't even facing me, and you swore that you didn't do it, and I'm like sure that you would have like said like, because we weren't in a like we weren't in a playful state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you and I, we weren't like playing around with each other, like trying to, because we knew where we were going. So I felt my hair pulled, and the tour guide, like, she didn't. I don't think she really heard me, but she kind of sort of like knew something had happened.
Yeah.
Because of my like shocked face. Like where I was like trying to deny it and tell myself like it was nothing, like you like in that moment when I knew it wasn't you, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it was nothing. You're just like making up stuff." Blah blah blah. Which like I was like really freaked out. But then now that I think about it, like Ted Bundy's glasses, yeah, like what if it was? And then it's crazy because I tweeted that night, like about the museum.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tour guides tweeted back that she also got her hair pulled that night or that day. That same day.
Yep.
Which is weird because
You became popular on Twitter.
yeah, everybody was like retweeting and liking my tweet. But like it's weird that it happened the same day, and I don't know, like because the tour guides don't make up stuff, like they go through stuff.
Yeah, they're inside the house.
They're inside the
multiple
house
times,
and they know when stuff happens to them. So for her to be like, "Oh, my hair got pulled too," like it was confirmation that my hair got pulled. So I was a little freaked out about it. Even after we got out, I was like, "Oh my gosh." So that was like one of the things that happened.
And that was in the serial killer room.
In the serial killer room.
And I just remembered the one with the cult room. They're called the Odd Fellows.
Oh yeah, the Odd Fellows. Because you were gonna say brother something.
Yeah. The Cult Brothers. But they were the Odd Fellows.
Yeah.
And that was that was the second experience. I personally didn't experience anything.
Other than people looking at you?
Yeah. Yeah, we have to still get to the third one, which is the next part. So after this, that's when we went to that, I guess it's a room. I don't even know. No, we went to the cauldron, The Cauldron is from Ed Gein. If you guys don't know who Ed Gein is, just think about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bates Motel, Psycho. All those movies were based out of what he did. What he did,
Out of one person?
yeah. He was. Oh, this was back in the day, like black and white days. He was a mama's boy. So when his mom died, he wanted to conserve her, or I don't know what he did, but he started digging up bodies from the cemetery, like fresh bodies. Like if you died yesterday and got buried today, he would go the next day to get you out, because he was skinning the bodies, so he was collecting the skin to make. I think he even did his mom too, like he did that to his mom, because he was such a mama's boy that he wanted her to be in the house, so that if you guys, if that sounds familiar to you guys, it's because you've seen Psycho. And in Psycho, what's his name? Norman Bates is a huge mama's boy, and he wanted to keep his mom in the house, so he did the same thing, and he dressed like his mom. But this guy took it literally. Like he skinned his mom, put the flesh on him, and pretended to be his mom. And he also skinned all their bodies. He dug up bodies. He only committed 2 murders, but he was convicted of those 2 murders and everything else he's done. Like police, when they went to go to see his house, they found the lampshades. They were made of skin, and other artifacts made of bone. So, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's where they cut the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, putting on Leatherface. That's what they called him. That's where they got it from. Bates Motel, the mama's boy part, and yeah, the skinning part.
So that's why they took us into that room with the cauldron.
Yeah, because in the cauldron, supposedly that's, I don't know what he cooked up there, but when they found it, there was human remains in it, and supposedly super strong energy. It's super haunted.
And I remember it smelled disgusting.
Oh yeah, like I mean, they make the rooms in a theme.
Yeah.
To where they were found, so like in that room, the floor's removed. Like if you step on it, it would move and shake. Like there was a second part, and it was just flashing. I don't know what's going on there, but it looked like a farmhouse inside. I remember scraping because they have it in a glass container, and I remember wanting to get behind you because that's where you started feeling dizzy.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because of the room or because you were being affected. But I remember wanting to get behind you because you were like tumbling. So I scraped the glass container of the cauldron. I was like, oh dang, it touched me.
But you know what? Like the whole dizziness, it didn't only happen in that room. It happened in several places.
It happened to me too. Like when I felt okay, well, I feel a little bit dizzy, but not too much. And that's why I went, because they say because you're standing so much and blood is not flowing, because if you lock your legs for a long period of time, then your legs go to sleep and you buckle and you faint. So that's why I was like shaking my legs and moving my legs to make sure I didn't buckle.
I don't think it was that.
And from there, we went to this little part of the hallway. Like it's not a room, but it's part of the hallway. But all around, like everything, all the walls are covered in cabinets, and on top of the cabinets, there's like lights. But in the cabinets are, what do you call those animals? Stuffed animals? Not like stuffed.
Preserved.
Yeah, preserved.
Yeah.
Animals, like real animals that were preserved.
But it's not like the light, it's dim lights.
It's dark.
It's dark.
Only the cabinets have the lights, and it's super dim. There's like little baby dolls with animal heads. That's the creepiest part. And everyone went in there. We were just waiting for the instructions, and we were at the very back of it along with another couple. And all of a sudden, we just hear like the back wall move, like if it was gonna be opened.
And a loud noise.
Yeah, because it was super loud. Like, I mean, it's a huge wall.
Yeah.
And that was the funniest part. I didn't really get startled. I was like, what's going on? But the couple that was like right against the wall, the guy lost it. It was hilarious. I'm like, damn, dude, you're the skeptical one and you're scared.
He's the one that jumped, huh?
Yeah. Like they screamed, they both screamed.
Yeah.
And he left, like it was his I don't know if it's wife, girlfriend, but the girl was closer to the wall and the guy was behind her. And the guy just like pushed her more closer to the wall. That was funny. But it just ended up being a tour guide opening, I guess it's a door.
Yeah,
to
like
another side
they
of the
did
house.
it to scare us.
Yeah. It was pretty funny though.
Yeah, because I almost like started cussing because I got scared because I was right there too. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were just next to them. But I just like I get startled. I don't get like I get startled. Like I shake and then I tense up and then like okay cool. Funny. You don't. You get startled and punch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was gonna
You
start
hit.
cussing because like I could. What was I gonna punch? It was the wall.
Yeah. Well, you pulled my shoulder,
Did I?
my arm. But yeah, after that we went into the fun house, which is
Oh, that was
clown.
horrible. I didn't like that.
I have
part.
no idea what that lady said.
Me either. I was so scared.
So we went inside. It was that same couple that was in front of us before the wall moved. They were the first ones. No, it was, yeah, they were the first ones. So they went in. It was like a dark hallway, and there was like clowns on the walls.
But a lot of clowns, like clown after clown after clown
Yeah,
after clown.
clown artifacts, circus artifacts, clowns, and stuff like that. And there was a dark room. And then we turned left, and there's like a chimney-sized area, and there's like a mini clown inside. I saw it from before I even got into the room. I was like, nope, I ain't gonna look at it. And we just both turned. So we were like the second to first people in there. And then, so we were just checking out the room because we were just waiting for stuff. And then all of a sudden, whatever that little clown was came out of it and scared everyone in the back.
Even I was not even in the back, and I got scared.
You got scared? I didn't know what was
Yes.
going on. I was like, what's going on? This is real?
Yes, I got scared because he came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was real. Like, I got scared. And then that's when the girl opened the door that was in front of us. Remember?
No.
Yeah, like the door was in front of us, and she opened the door, and she scared us, and I screamed, and
No, that wasn't her. That wasn't that part.
Yeah, it was that part.
No, it was like the miniature dude. Because that room where the miniature dude was, it was all lit up. It was in dark. You'll remember once I explained to it.
Okay.
It was the little dude, the little clown.
Yeah.
He was telling us about how what his experience was being there.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, he saw like a figure. Because remember, it was that room, and remember there was like a glass container, but inside the glass container they had like mini circus stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
That's where we were. And he said that he saw a figure go into the wall and then come back out of it, then disappear.
Yeah.
And he told us that. Then he led us into the fun house. So this was a dark room, and basically it's a stage with a carriage that's supposed to be like a circus. Like if you've ever seen it, where he dances, basically picture that. And also all these clowns, and this is where I noticed a third thing looking at me. So we were the second to first couple, and we had to go all the way down. And all the way down is an entrance to stairs, and it's pitch black. Well, it's super dark. And I was like, thank God I'm not that person. Because it was a girl too. The girl was first. The guy kept the girl first all the time.
Yeah.
And like there was another person telling a story. I have no idea what she said. I couldn't understand her. I'm sorry. But there's all these clowns all around, just looking your way. But there was one specific one behind her that I kept noticing that I'm not sure if at first she like was looking directly to the middle of the room, but towards like the last part of it, that's when I caught her like the thing looking at me. I was like, okay.
What was it?
There was a clown behind
Oh.
the girl, just staring like, dang. Nope, I ain't looking back. And then yeah, she told her story, and we were ready to go to the next room, and that's when that happened.
When they opened the door.
Yeah, like a girl dressed in a clown
Yeah.
outfit, like busted a door open from the carriage and scared. It startled me. Did it scare you?
Yeah, I was like.
Did you scream?
Yeah.
Like here's the thing: when I know it's not a serious scare, I like get startled, smile, and laugh, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got scared. Like I for sure said a cuss word.
Yeah, I heard you.
Because I got scared.
I think the first couple got the most scared. It
Yeah.
was funny, but she was acting funny too.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she led us up the stairs, and I guess this is the haunted house portion of it, meaning where they scare you, like everything is meant to scare you. Because the first couple ran.
Yeah,
I
they
lost sight
ran
of them
out of
after a
there.
while.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool.
Then I was
walking.
left in the front.
No, I was left in the front. Oh yeah, you were left in the front.
And then I was like,
behind you.
okay, no.
And I was polite. I asked you, do you want me to go in front of you? Because there was a portion where it was not that scary. It was just a room. I wasn't looking at anything. I was looking straight to where we were going to go. And then there was a scary portion where there was all these clowns. So I was like, do you want me to go in front of you? So I did.
I was like, yeah.
And then
we were walking
the
really
people,
slow.
the people behind us, I was walking really slow. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm ready for whatever come to me.
Yeah,
ready.
the girl behind us was super mad.
Because I was just walking, smiling the whole time.
She was like, you gotta walk faster.
And I guess walked a little bit faster, but I didn't run.
I was like, girl.
And then the girl dressed in a clown outfit scared us again. Cause she was like, because there's a whole wall of clowns, like life-size clowns. There's
Yeah, and you don't know if it's real or it's fake.
And the same lady that scared us from the carriage popped up again. I noticed her from my point of view, but I know she startled you, or the girl behind you.
Me.
And then after that, it got even darker, because now I think they did it again so it could relieve some nerves, because the darker stuff was going to come, like in the beginning with the magic show.
Yeah.
So right from the fun house, once we got out, everyone's relieved because okay, we got startled, it's scary,
Yeah,
blah,
like
blah,
we're
blah.
out of there.
We were relieved, we're all laughing, we're joking, we're like, yeah. And that led us into one of the darkest rooms with the Dybbuk box. If you guys don't know what the Dybbuk box is, it's basically something with malicious energy that was locked inside this box. And you guys, they told us a little bit of history, something World War I or World War II. That's how old the box is, and that every time it was passed down from family or from household to household, something wrong went in that house because of the box. And if you guys have seen The Possession, if you haven't seen it, basically that movie's based on the Dybbuk box. It's a cursed box. That's what it is. And I was skeptical to go inside because what we've heard and what I've seen is that since it's cursed, if people touch it or look at it or like make fun of it, something happens to you. And if you do touch it, you have to leave something personal behind in order for that thing to not be attached to you. So when you go in, the box is in a glass case contained in there because they don't want anyone touching it. They also have like a fake display of it, like how it would look inside and what's inside. And I just didn't stare at that thing at all. I glanced at it. I was like, nope. I ain't touching it. I ain't looking at it.
Was that the one where you weren't gonna go in?
No.
No.
I was thinking of it, but then I was like, all right, I'll go in. But I did remember that's the one where I told you, let's leave a penny or something.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
like,
for
no.
what?
Yeah, because there's like this little area where if you go in there, you'll see a bunch of coins, dollars, and stuff like that people leave behind because of what that box is known for.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, where do we go from there? Do
What
we?
about that room that was like?
I think that was after the room I didn't want to go into. So I think from there, that's where we went to the doll room, because we were already on the second floor. So after that room, I was in the first one now. So yeah, after that room, we were in this dark hallway. That was a squared hallway. There was a curtain in the middle of the. I think it's a room, but we couldn't see because it was covered. Like the middle of the room was just covered in curtain.
Mm-hmm.
So they told us to go down, and the first people out, they were right in front of the door next to the tour guide.
Yeah.
And they told us, okay, go all the way down. I was like, I guess I'll go all the way down. So me and you were the last persons in the group. There was no more room in the wall, so I was literally staring at, since it's squared, like everyone was lined up on right next to the entrance, and then we went all the way to that end of the square hallway. So I was literally staring. On my right, it was a blank, dark hallway that turns left, and then to my left, did I say left or right?
I think you said it right.
Okay, yeah, to my right was the dark hallway. To my left was staircases going down with dim light. And that's what I was staring at. And in front of me was everyone in the tour, and thing behind me was a door. And I was getting creeped out. That's pretty creepy. Nothing happened, but I was just getting creeped out, and they were just explaining to us.
Dark.
They were just explaining to us the next room, which is Peggy the doll. And if you guys know who Peggy the doll is, it's just a demonically possessed doll. So, from what we've heard, is that if you stare at the doll, something might happen. So, you're advised to not stare at it into the eyes of it, and don't make fun of it because something may happen to you. They told us like cases, right, that some person had a heart attack, someone had an accident, bad luck happened to them.
They even told us that when we go in to acknowledge her and just say hi, Peggy, and then when we leave, we say goodbye, Peggy.
Yeah, and actually,
which I did.
Yeah, we all did. Before we went to the room back in the Dybbuk box, they showed us a video. Remember the clip of, before we went into the Dybbuk box room, they showed us a clip of Post Malone.
Oh, yeah.
Going into the room with Zach Bagans. And in the clip, with us, there was a glass container. So the box was inside the glass container. In the clip they showed us, they took off the glass container.
Yeah.
And Zach was touching the box, which you're not supposed to do. And Post Malone was like, let's get out of here. He actually turned on the light to the room, and I think he touched Zach while Zach was touching the box, and all of a sudden they just run out the room. And that room is, after that, it's known that Post Malone has had bad luck, like with the plane crash and all those other stuff that's happened to him.
Car accident
and all that stuff. And it's after this happened, and he does blame that experience.
Yeah.
As the reason.
And where was it where like you could see the stairs to the basement?
I think that's after Peggy the doll.
Is it?
No.
It was before.
Yeah, that was before the wall thing. That was before we went to the cauldron. Well, that's the scariest part, so we'll leave that till the end.
Why is it the scariest part?
They'll know in the end.
Okay.
We didn't go down there for a reason. But anyway, back to Peggy the doll. So I didn't want to go in there. When they asked us who doesn't want to go in there, I raised my hand.
He did. He was the first one, like right away.
I'm like, heck yeah, I don't want to go in there. And I think I encouraged other people to jump into.
To raise their hand.
But you were like, you're not going there? You better go. I'm going there. Like, I guess I'm going there.
Well, we were there for the experience. Like, why would you not? Like, this is something that we've seen and like you know so much about that. I was like, why are you not gonna go in there?
Because I know so much about it.
Yeah, but as long as you're respectful, like they said, right?
So I went in there. I didn't look at the doll once. I didn't look at anything. Like,
I glanced at her and then I just.
I didn't. I said hi to the doll very loud. That way she can hear me.
You were super like, hi, Peggy.
Well, yeah, so she can hear me. And like all around in the floor, because there's like this barrier, kind of like in the zoo.
Yeah.
Like there's this barrier full of little kid stuff and writing, to prevent you from going in there, I guess. And I said hi. I didn't look at it at once. I kept my body was towards you, and I just kept looking on the floor and all around it. There was like little dolls all over the place.
Yeah, little dolls.
And then what were you gonna say?
That they have what is it? A spirit box?
Yeah, a spirit box. So
attached to it.
So you can communicate with the doll, and the doll can communicate back.
Yeah,
so,
and like they even tell you like it's not pre-recorded. Like it's not. It's just like for you to communicate.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Want to. It's crazy because if you've seen the show, that's what they use, and it's just a loud like. I guess that amps up the energy in the room in order for spirits to get that energy and communicate whatever they need to communicate. I didn't ask a question.
Yeah, they're like, you can ask your questions and stuff. And I was like, ugh. I just said hi, and then I was like,
You're supposed to say hi and goodbye.
But like when we went in there, you could hear that through the spirit box, like she would say stuff very quickly, and you couldn't really understand. Like, but she was like trying to say stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, that guy, the skeptical Joker one, like was like, "How old are you, Peggy?" And then like she said 12.
But it was very faint. It was like Ralph.
Yeah, like.
We were like 12. What?
12? She said 12. Like you guys.
And then we
like,
stayed quiet, just looking around, and we clearly hear 11, but like in a deep, manly voice, because the doll is known to be demonically possessed. So of course we're not gonna, and demons do try their best to seem innocent in order for you to accept them, but they end up being a dark figure. So it makes sense that this was a deep voice because it's demonically possessed. So we just hear 11.
11.
They're like, what?
And then we were like, at first we were thinking like, oh, well, she's 11 or is she 12? Like what? But we didn't really think anything of it.
Yeah, and then we said bye.
And then you're like, bye, Peggy. Like, we're all like, bye, Peggy. Bye, Peggy.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Make sure she hears me. Saying bye. Goodbye. That means I don't want you. So then we went out.
And we got in line.
Yeah, everyone was telling the tour guide. She said 11. We heard her say 11. And remember, this was 14 people total. The people that went into the room.
Because not everybody, there was people that raised their hand that they didn't want to go in there, so they stayed out.
There was 3 people.
I didn't know how many there was until...
We didn't know. There was 3 people outside that didn't go into the room.
And it would have been 4 if you had stayed outside. So, like, if it had been pre-recorded, like, how would they know that 11 people went in there, right? Exactly. So when we went out, like, we told the tour guide, she said 11, and then she's like, oh, 11, that's how many of you went in there. And we're like, that's what I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. So that can count as my first paranormal experience, I guess. Because I haven't seen anything. I didn't see anything in there.
I mean, you've had experiences, you just haven't seen stuff.
Yeah. Not that something that's physical or visual, but like heard stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we went to another. This was more of on the serial killer disturbing side. This was, I don't know what the guy's name is, but this was this guy who basically kidnapped people and tortured them, specifically guys. Mm-hmm. And they actually got the bed where he put those people, like he tied them up into the bed, and it's the actual bed.
It was nasty.
Yeah, they were telling us that there was a bat that he used to beat them with, and then there's a brown stain, and they told us that that's feces from the people that he tortured there. But yeah, it was very disturbing. It's a very tiny room too.
Yeah, it was super small. It was hot.
Yeah, and then there's like this, I don't know, there's like this Indian looking thing, like Native American looking thing, hanging on there that was in the actual room where all these stuff happened.
Like that was their robe.
No, see?
Mm-hmm. That was like practically their robe.
Mm. But yeah, it was just hanging there. Like that thing was very disturbing. It was crazy. And then from there, where do we go?
They even told us like if there's like very graphic stuff
Oh
in
yeah,
here, like if you don't want to go in, don't go in.
because this is already towards the end of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you go from here?
The celebrity room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So went to the celebrity room too. Basically, it's just a collection of stuff that from celebrities that have already passed, and it's some of their belongings, maybe some clothing or anything like that, something that they were part of. They had Michael Jackson's chair there, the one where he sat, and I don't think he died in it, but
No,
it was in a room.
the doctor, I think he sat there too.
Yeah, and it was in a room of where he died.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had like the little pill containers.
Mm-hmm.
They had a piano from this famous pianist and singer. They had Chris Farley. If you've ever, I don't know. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Chris Farley? But if you guys who do know, I don't know what he died of, but he hemorrhaged. And they have the original Polaroid that they took of how he looked when he died. Like his head all bloodied. It's crazy. They have Heath Ledger's costume, I think shirt costume from one of the pirate movie that he made. I don't know which one. What else? They had Robin Williams. What was it? It wasn't a coat.
It looked like a coat.
It was like one of the, not an overall, but basically picture, if you guys know Michael Myers, what he wears.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he used it for when he was painting, because it was covered in paint. So they have that. What else? They have something from that Dirty Dancing guy.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Swayze. And that was another one of the brightest rooms too.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird how that room and the serial killer room were super bright.
Yeah.
From there, where do we go from there? Because this is already towards the end of the tour.
The devil's chair.
Did we go there?
What else?
I know we did go there.
I know, but what else are you missing?
I think is that one. There's like this Titanic room. That's another bright room.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then the demon house room. So I think we did go to the
yeah.
devil's chair. So I didn't know this was in there at all, but supposedly this room and this case is gonna the Conjuring 3 movie is gonna be based out of this, and when I heard it, I remember how we saw that a couple months back. They had to close down the museum because some lady collapsed above, like on the stairs above, right below where that chair was located. So we went into this room. They were telling us the history about it, and it's just family that's just that was just demonically possessed and haunted. Not the entire family, but people in the family. And Ed and Lorraine Warren were in the case. If you guys know who those are, they're basically the people in The Conjuring, and they investigated the Annabelle doll. They investigated the Conjuring 1, the actual family in the house, the Conjuring 2 family too, and then this case too, and along with Amityville Horror and all those other cases. And they did this case, and they have recordings of the exorcism, and they said that only Lorraine Warren and the person who was possessed or affected, they were the only ones who could see like a beast type thing sitting on the chair rocking it. Everyone else would just see the rocking chair, but these two people only saw what was sitting in it, and it turned out to be some type of demon. And then right above where this exhibit is, some woman collapsed, and they had to close in the museum a few months back. And I didn't look at that chair either.
You didn't look at the chair?
I think I just glanced at it and that's it.
I looked at the chair, and it it was really disturbing
The audio.
The audio, yeah.
Yeah, because it's also like similar to Peggy's room where they have like a barrier, and then the tour guide will go in the barrier, and you were like, okay, where's the chair? And they do have chairs, but they're not rocking chairs.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, well, where's the chair? And then they open like a little tiny door to where the chair is, and it's kind of like dim lit.
Yeah.
And they play the audio recording of the exorcism in the background, and you're just listening to it, and it's just like
Yeah.
that's the voice that comes
It was
across.
creepy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really scary.
And after that, they went a little bit lighthearted and took us to the Titanic room, and that wasn't even scary at all. It was
No, but it was like, it was cool.
just
It was cool to
they
see.
had like a mirror that supposedly the captain gave it to her, and then she would look at it at the anniversary or her birthday. Was it her birthday or his birthday? Or was it the day he died? One of those days. But she would look at it and see the captain in the mirror.
Oh, yeah. I looked at it to see if I would see the captain.
And then they have like this this mini Titanic one. I don't know what else. They told a story about some other woman, but I don't remember. And then from there, we went into the last room of the house, which is super tiny. It's very claustrophobic. But I think this was the most recent one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was if you guys have seen Demon House, which I probably don't think a lot of. If you guys are fans of Ghost Adventures, you've probably seen
you've
Demon
seen
House. That was a movie that came out the beginning of this year. I didn't hear about it till like April-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see it, but
it took time.
yeah, it took some time too. Because the same thing, because they said like this film is cursed. Whatever is in this movie might come haunt you or may appear on your end. So we're like, nah, I got a family, I'm good. But we saw it anyway.
But we saw it at your mom's house.
Yeah, we saw it a couple months. I think in June, July. No. But during that whole time, I was like looking into it,
Yeah, yeah.
seeing what happened. So this Lags exhibit is it's like a 2-hour documentary that took 2 years. And if you guys have
I
seen,
thought it took longer.
no, it took 2 years to make.
Oh, to make.
Because this happened, it basically with the Demon House, and you'll probably, if you search it, it was one of the first most documented demonic cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the news media were covering it and stuff like that. The news media is very. What I know from media, they want facts. They don't want just whatever. They want actual facts. So it was pretty rare for media to cover this. And in the documentary, since it took 2 years, I think the year of when he bought the house, Zach bought the house like a week or two later. No, the next day, huh? Was it the next day
I don't remember.
that he saw the news coverage about it? That he called and said, like, hey, I want to buy the house. So he bought the house. He went to go investigate it. He locked himself in the house alone, like barricaded himself. Like he was just him alone in the house. All the windows were boarded up. The door was boarded up. So there was like no escape to him. And in the house, even previously, they investigated multiple times. Everyone had experience with it. Like 3 people were experiencing something. Like one of the investigators that was along with him got fired because he was just being too aggressive because of what he experienced in the house. I think the thing followed him back to the hotel they were staying in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just going ballistic. It's just a little bit of history of the Demon House, so you can see what we went into.
Yeah.
In this last exhibit. And in the day where he was just completely alone, that's when he captured the most horrifying thing ever. After that, if you guys have seen the old Ghost Adventures to the new Ghost Adventures, you'll notice that Zack now wears glasses, but before he didn't, and it's because of this house, what he experienced in this house. And in the movie, in the documentary, you see a scene where he's in a room. It's pitch black. It's super dark. It's a very small house too. It's not like a huge mansion. Like it's a living room and there's like 2 rooms. There's like a door to a room. And there's another door on the other side to a room as well. And then right in front of that door to the right immediately is the restroom door, and that's basically the house. It's super small. So super pitch black. He's just sitting there. The camera's pointing to the open door, and he just hears like a growl, like "Wow." Super scary. And then all of a sudden the camera goes fuzzy, cause he like I guess he shakes after he hears that. He shakes and the camera goes blurry, and you could just see a dark figure pass by. And we were like, "Oh my god!" when we saw it. But
so he in that room he has the staircase because
yeah,
they demolished the house afterwards.
And the basement was supposed to be super active. Um, it
That's where the stuff was buried.
they found some stuff under cause in the basement it's all concrete except for this one specific area under the stairs, which is all dirt. And they dug it up and they found like a comb. They found children's underwear, socks, a nail, like an acrylic nail. Just weird stuff that made him think, okay, this is something happened here. Someone was involved in demonic rituals y todo eso. And he when he demolished the house, he kept the stairs and the dirt, not all the dirt, I guess some of the dirt and the stuff that was found inside the dirt. And he put this all in a cramped little room. So it's like another barrier, but there's like this slide thing that they have. So it's not like on full display. You have to go into this little, what would you call it? Like a viewing area. And you will be able to see the stairs. They have the door to the basement. They have the dirt, the stairs. The stairs are huge.
They are.
I thought it was just gonna be the portion going up, but no, it's like
and
the
you were
entire
laughing
stairs.
at the doll that they put.
Oh yeah. Then, because it's like in an L shape, like the stairs. It's like in an L shape, and then on the right of the L, that's where they have the artifacts. It's pretty crazy that all came from that house.
Yeah.
Well, that stuff happened.
And I think that was the last room, right?
Yeah. That was the last room that led us into the gift shop. Started looking for rosaries right away.
And what about the room that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, it wasn't even a room. It was a part of the hallway. So, we didn't go into this room because of how dangerous it is. Like, employees are not allowed to go in there. Tour people, like the tourists and people who pay for the tour, they're not allowed to go in there. Only him, management, and people he allows to come with him are allowed to go in there. It's stairs down going to the basement, and the basement is known to be highly active because they did satanic rituals under there.
And it looked really creepy.
It's super dark. Once you go into that room, it's super cold. Like if you've seen, you can look up Zach's Bagans haunted museum and look at the ones where he's part of the tour. And I think in one of the clips he does take someone under there, and you can just see how dark it is. And also in Ghost Adventures, they investigated, they experienced some stuff. They took a witch, right? I think they took a witch and a healer, both at the same time down there. And in that episode, it was like good and evil battling each other. That's crazy. But yeah, we were not allowed to go down there because of all that happened down there.
They only had like a blinking light.
See?
Yeah, don't you remember? Isn't that the security that said that like he has to go turn it off?
Yeah. He has to go down there. Well, he goes down the stairs. He doesn't go all the way in.
Well, yeah, just to turn off the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a light, like, but it's very dim and it like blinks.
I don't know, but it was scary. When we went into like the hallway, I was like, oh my god, this is the basement. And I was the first one too. So I had to go all the way around. And then on the opposite side, there's like all these artifacts, and I think there's
Yeah.
another door.
Mm-hmm.
I stood at the very edge of that thing.
Yeah, like
I was like, nope.
we didn't want to walk too much.
Yeah, they even say like a previous tour guide or someone that was involved with the house. She was telling about the basement and that she just suddenly broke down because of how affected she was when she went down there. And it's crazy because you would think, well, they would have this area blocked off, but they just have this tiny, tiny door that says warning or
Not a
do not
door. They
enter.
just have like a hanging sign.
That says do not enter.
Yeah.
And you would think, okay, well, if it's so possessed or evil that's down there, they would like barricade it.
Seal it.
Yeah. Like
But
they have all
then-
the other artifacts.
Yep.
So yeah.
But that was a tour. Like it did last about an hour and a half,
Well, yeah, I was
Which
talking
was-
about it less than an hour and a half.
which was totally worth it to me. Like it was totally worth
Yeah.
the money. Like our Uber guy was like that. Well, that's expensive. Like I mean, if you follow the show and you know the whole like story and stuff, like it's totally worth it.
Oh yeah. I think it's worth for fans of the show.
Mm-hmm.
For fans of supernatural anything anywhere. It's very worth it.
And even like right now, haunted houses, like pretend haunted houses, are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So to
You
go
paid
to a real
44?
one,
I think we paid 44.
yeah, $44, and the gift shop was pretty cool. They have like 2 separate rooms of like stuff with shirts and rosaries and sage.
Kind of a little
and-
mini rosary in a jar. So that was the museum. But still some stuff happened afterwards. So the first night,
which is what's gonna creep you. I'm just kidding.
so the first
bit.
night, our
Dun,
hotel
dun,
room
dun.
was good. We didn't hear any noises that night. Nothing was going on with our hotel room.
Like our room was completely beautiful. The energy was light. Like it was like very like kind of spa-ish like
Yeah.
feeling. Like you're just there.
The only creepy thing was that we had a very creaky, like the door to the toilet side was
it
very
was
creaky,
like
super creaky, like like super loud. But it didn't bother us the first night. We were like, all right, it's a creaky door,
yeah.
whatever.
Like we didn't really care about the
But-
door.
When we got back to the hotel room after we went to the museum, we kept hearing a little tick sound. Like we just kept hearing from the restroom area. We just kept hearing. Like every couple of minutes, and we're like, "What the heck is that?" I
Like
guess
what's that noise?
we're like, "All right, whatever."
But like, okay, at that point, we probably were like a little bit,
It's probably just us.
yeah, like
Probably happened last night,
because
we
we
just didn't
just
notice
came
it.
to the museum from the museum, like, and like just to be honest, after getting out of the museum, like, it was, I felt fine. Like I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
like we were good. Like we were just like,
We didn't feel like anything was
yeah,
attached
like we weren't
to us.
even scared
We
anymore.
didn't feel depressed. We didn't feel sad.
We're like, oh, that
Anger.
was like a cool experience. Like that was
Yeah.
pretty fun. Like
We went back to the
Wow.
strip, so the strip was
Yeah.
full of happiness and stuff.
you're right. Yeah, like it was exciting to have been there, and
One thing we did feel was tired.
I was so drained. Like my energy was drained.
Yeah.
Like not physically drained, but my energy was drained. Like that's why I got hungry.
Yeah.
I was
So
like,
we
I'm
went back to
starving.
the hotel room. You were listening to our last episode. We went to go get food at Nathan's. We got chili cheese fries, right?
Yeah.
Or bacon cheese fries or whatever.
Bacon cheese fries.
Yeah. And we went back to the hotel room. We started hearing that noise, and we're like, all right, whatever. It happens every few minutes. It's consistent. It's probably something in the restroom. And we just chilled. We kept hearing the noise. We kept ignoring it. We watched TV. And then we started getting ready. We kept hearing it and you were in the restroom too. Did you keep hearing it in the restroom?
I just ignored it. Like I didn't even pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah. We were just ignoring it. And then before I left the Bible open. So I took the Bible and left it open. I think it was I don't know, it was a Proverbs verse. but it said God is my protection and stuff like that. So I left it open.
How did you know to open it there? You looked it up?
Yeah.
Oh.
I looked for a protection verse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left it open.
So I left it open. We went out. We enjoyed the strip at night. Did we go eat? No, we didn't go eat. Well, when we came back, we went to eat. And
like we forgot all about it.
yeah.
Like we weren't even thinking about like the museum or anything. Like
Yeah.
we're just thinking about the
Having fun.
Yeah, like we were having fun as a couple that night, like hanging out. My feet were super tired, so I was like, yeah, like ready to go to bed.
We were both tired physically.
Yeah.
The second part, we were physically tired.
Yeah, like my feet were killing me.
So yeah, we went to go out the strip at night. Maybe listen to other previous podcasts. You'll hear what we did there. But when we came back, we were all drained. Did we eat? We ate some Del Taco.
Which we realized that Taco Bell is better. Remember you said? Can you
taste wise?
Well, yeah.
Taste wise was better, but like size wise, Del Taco's bigger.
Like it has more stuff in it.
Like the tacos are stuffed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it tastes better. Taco Bell tastes better.
The meat does.
Oh my god. Anyways.
So yeah, we were just eating. That's when we started hearing the ticking noise again, and we're like, yeah, whatever, it's a ticking noise. But we did close the door to the
restroom, like the double doors.
Yeah.
That the restroom has to separate the tub and the sinks to our room. It has 2 double doors. I mean, it has a double door.
Yeah.
So we closed those
we left the toilet light on
the whole time. How the both days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we left them on. We left those on, and yeah, we just went to bed. Before we went to bed, you fell asleep first. We were watching American Pickers because there was nothing on. So you went to sleep first right after we ate. I stayed up for a couple more minutes, and then the remote up to this point was working fine. And then all of a sudden, I tried to lower down the volume. Well, I tried to turn off the TV because I was already going to bed. No, this time we left the hallway light on.
What hallway?
The entrance.
Oh yeah, I left it on.
Yeah, we left it on.
But we also the restroom.
Oh yeah.
The toilet one.
Yeah.
I think that was able.
So yeah, I tried to turn off the TV, didn't do it. Tried to lower the volume. It's like the batteries were drained. There was no battery at all. So I was like, all right.
And it was weird because the whole, like, this was already our second day.
Yeah.
And the remote was fine, like, perfectly fine.
There was no malfunction. I even got closer to the TV. You know how you do the little waving thing?
Yeah.
For the TV to get the signal. It didn't happen. So I was like, all right, I guess we'll...
And didn't I wake up? Like, I was like, you're like, the TV won't turn off.
Yeah.
You told me. And I was like, have you tried turning it off manually?
But that one didn't work either. Because I did it the previous day and it didn't work.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
so it was the
like,
remote.
No, it's not working. And I was like, well, just leave it on.
So I did.
So I was sleepy. Like, I was like, let's just go to sleep.
I left it on. And a few hours later, I woke up.
Like, around what time was this? Like, maybe 11:30?
Then we went to sleep. No, we went to sleep like at midnight. I think like an hour or two later, that's when I woke up to turn on the TV.
And it turned off.
Yeah, just like the remote was working perfectly fine. So I turned it off. I went back to sleep. Because one thing I can't do is sleep with the TV on.
Yeah.
I always wake up in the middle of the night. And then we went back to sleep. And then all of a sudden, we just hear something be thrown inside the restroom.
Like, we just heard, like, a fall.
Like, no, it was louder.
No, it was loud. Like, it was super loud because it was inside the restroom and I woke up.
It sounded like something heavy was thrown down the restroom.
Let's try it. Like that.
Well, yeah, but we're not that close.
I know, but it was like that.
Like it was something that was thrown to the floor, from the restroom, something heavy, and it was like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. And then
But like it was weird because it's like I heard it and then I woke up
mm,
and
me too.
and I was like I heard the noise and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. And then you were like, something fell in the restroom, and I was
Well,
like,
I moved and then you moved, and then I knew that you were awake, so I told you, like something fell in the
oh,
restroom.
so you were already awake. I thought you were still
Nothing
asleep.
woke me up.
Too?
Yeah, because it was loud.
And
And
we didn't
then
even get out to like investigate or anything. We're just
no,
like,
I was like,
nope.
I'm too tired. I ain't gonna deal with this right now. And then I looked at my phone to see what time it was, and it was 3 a.m. And I just got super creeped out, and I
Yeah.
started praying. I prayed super hard. And then after that, we stopped hearing the ticking. Like after I prayed, I stopped hearing the ticking and all that stuff. Like everything was back to normal.
But the whole time, like after that, I was still like, I kept staring at the door to
Because you had opened,
see if something would like,
passed by. Because you could see a little strip of the light.
yeah. And I was like, okay, close your eyes, and go to sleep. And then like I guess I would like doze off, and then I would wake up and I'd be like, something's gonna happen. Okay, close your eyes, close your eyes. So that up until we had to get up to like get ready to go to the airport, like I kept dozing off and waking up because I was so scared.
Yeah. And then when we actually woke up to get ready to leave, we went into the restroom.
Like we opened the doors and we turned on, like we first turned the lights on in the whole like room
Yeah.
before we opened
Because it was still dark out.
before we opened the restroom doors.
Yeah, it was still dark out. It was like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we turned on the lights in the room on. And then we went to the restroom. We turned on the light and we see that it's your makeup bag on the floor.
Huh.
And your makeup bag is pretty hefty.
Yeah, like it was like, if you would have seen it, you would have been like, there's no way that that makeup bag could have fell the way it fell.
Accidentally.
Yeah. There's no way, like, because the makeup bag was full of like, it was full of like my deodorant, hairspray, liquids that were heavy,
Yeah.
and then I put it next to the wall. So if you picture this, like let's say that it's the wall and then it's the sinks, right?
Yeah.
The double sinks. And then to the left of the wall, it's the lights. There's a makeup mirror. And then I put the makeup bag right there next to the wall. And next
To add support.
Yeah, for support. And then like the sink is right there. So it was facing, like the makeup bag was, how do you say it, like adjacent? No. Do you say it?
On the edge?
No, like it was like straight.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't horizontal, it was vertical.
Mm-hmm.
So the makeup bag was like vertically next to the wall. Like it was like parallel to it.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And that wasn't hanging off.
no, like
on the
it
edge.
wasn't hanging off the edge or anything. And if at any point it would have fell, it wouldn't have fell the way it did. Because when it was on the floor, the whole bag was completely turned around. Like it did like a 90-degree kind of thing and then fell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
So it like freaked me out. I was like there is no way that that makeup bag could have fell by itself. And if it did, there's no way it would have landed the way it landed. Like, how did that happen?
So that can count as my second paranormal.
Which was super freaky. Like,
But in the actual room, we didn't feel anyone like looking at us.
no, not in the
We
room.
didn't feel any
but it was
kind of energy.
because the Bible was open.
Exactly. You're welcome. I kept that thing in the restroom. But Yeah, it was pretty creepy. That was right after. That was the same night that we went to the museum.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, after that, everything's
Yeah, everything.
good, back to normal. We just have those memories, but yeah, luckily nothing followed us. Let's keep it that way.
But yeah, I mean, like, it was quite an experience, and like even experiencing that stuff after was like shocking.
Yeah.
You know, like I've experienced a lot of stuff throughout my life, but like
We can make a second episode of that. Second Halloween episode.
release it on Halloween day.
Very scary.
We get to tell scary stories.
Yeah. Personal scary stories.
That would be cool. If you guys want to hear that, we should record that. We should invite someone.
Who?
I don't know. Anybody who has had like
Ghost Tours 915.
paranormal experiences, let us know. Maybe you could be on our next episode.
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I know this was pretty long, but it was like you had to hear what happened. And if you get to be in Vegas, even take a road trip and just go to the movie.
Yep. It was an experience. It was real. It was fun, but it wasn't real fun.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We can't wait to keep doing this for the rest of the year. More to come. And follow us.
Happy Halloween.
Todavía no.
Okay.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. I have a Twitter, my personal Twitter.
She's
what is
popular
it?
now.
No, I'm not popular. It's,
She's a
I think
celebrity.
it's at Bree Bree.
Is it Bree?
Yeah.
Isn't it Brendis or something? Like
No, I think I changed it to like when you told me, oh, you should call yourself Bree Bree.
that? Oh, did you?
Bree Bree Makeup or something. I was like, yeah, it's at Bree Bree _Rico.
There you go. That's the Twitter.
Yeah,
And then
follow me on Twitter and listen to our podcast.
Like and subscribe to our YouTube.
And keep sending me those messages. I'll give you a shout out on one of the episodes.
Sounds good. Well, that was our Halloween special. We might do a second part. I don't know. We'll see. You'll know when you see that if we did a second one or not. But thank you very much for listening to us.
Love you guys. Bye.
Later.